Hi, my name is Daniel.dalmolin and I'm a financial advisor and retirement planner here at Global Financial Consultants in Singapore. Today's video is why did I move to Singapore? I actually moved to Singapore in 2006 for a number of reasons. Here's a few of the top reasons I moved here. I moved from running a domestic business to running a global business back in the day. During my work in Australia, I'd travel for meetings in Minchinbury in Sydney, Camberwell in Melbourne, and to Adelaide. But once I moved to Singapore in 2006, it was a global business I run. We were doing meetings in New Jersey, in London, in St. Paulo, so it's a whole different dynamic. Running businesses in Australia is limited. There's a limited domestic market that you can work in. But once you move to Singapore, Singapore's set up to operate companies on a global level, so you have a higher mark for growth going forward. Moving from a domestic company to running a global business usually means you take on more responsibility, more workers, more staff, more finance, more sales. This also means with higher responsibility, you get paid more money. One of the best reasons that I gained from moving from Australia to Singapore was the change in tax rates. So the top marginal tax rate in Australia at the time was 47%, and I moved to Singapore, which had a top marginal tax rate of 20%. So effectively lost half of my tax expenses each year. So I managed to increase my take-home pay, and I managed to have more money for savings and investment going forward. Another reason was there's a lot of investments you can access in Singapore that you're unable to access in Australia. There's a lot of ETFs, there's a lot of funds up here that you can't access in Australia. Another reason is the Singapore government doesn't tax earnings on your foreign investments. So if you have an overseas property, residential property that you're earning rental from, or you have overseas investments on shares, the Singapore government does not tax that overseas income. And the last point is travel. Traveling for work or for holidays from Singapore is a lot easier than traveling from Sydney. Usually traveling from Sydney requires an extra 7 hours travel to get to Singapore before you go on to your China, Europe, or wherever you need to go. So you save a lot of time traveling for work and pleasure out of Singapore. These are the main points that why I took a job and transferred into Singapore back about 19 years ago. I hope this helps, and if you're thinking about making the decision to move to Singapore for work reasons and you want to have a chat with somebody that's here, please give me a call. Thank you.